Good morning, Palm Bay. This is the Palm Bear Podcast, where we break down the local news that matters most to you.
And at the special City Council meeting on September 8th, the news that mattered was all happening at City Hall. The subject was your property taxes, and a routine meeting turned into a nearly hour-long stalemate.
That's right. So let's break down what happened, what was at stake, and how it will affect your wallet. It all comes down to something called the millage rate. Tate, can you give us the quick breakdown?
Of course. The millage rate is the tax rate used to calculate your property taxes. 1 mill is $1 for every $1,000 of your home's assessed value.
The city's new city manager, Mr. Morton, proposed keeping the operating millage rate the same as last year, 6.7339. He argued it was necessary to cover critical expenses like an $11 million increase in police and fire pension obligations and new fire engines.
But even though the rate itself isn't increasing, rising property values mean the city still collects more money. That didn't sit well with everyone on the council.
Exactly. Councilman Mike Hammer was the first to object, and he was quickly joined by Councilman Kenny Johnson. They wanted to see the rate lowered to give residents a break.
And that kicked off what was essentially a legislative stalemate with a series of failed votes.
First, they tried a rate of 6.5, but City Manager Morton warned this would leave the city's emergency reserve fund with less than $700,000. Mayor Medina called it setting up the city for failure. That motion died.
Then came a motion for 6.65. That failed in a 3-2 split.
They tried again at 6.7. Same result, another 3-2 failure. The council was completely stuck. You had two clear sides. On one, Mayor Medina, Deputy Mayor Jaffe, and Councilman Langevin argued that the new city manager needed the tools to succeed.
And Councilman Langevin was especially passionate, talking about his visits to local firehouses. He said, "The one consistent thing I heard from every single crew was that this was the first time that they ever felt like we're moving in the right direction for them, that council took them seriously."
But on the other side, Councilman Hammer and Johnson were channeling the concerns of residents feeling the financial pressure.
That's right. As Councilman Hammer put it, "I've had a lot of conversation with people in the streets. I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of phone calls."
With the council deadlocked, Mayor Medina called for the art of compromise. Finally, after nearly an hour, a second motion was made for a millage rate of 6.700.
And this time the votes shifted. Mayor Medina and Deputy Mayor Jaffe changed their votes to aye, joining Hammer and Johnson. The final vote was 4-1, and the stalemate was broken.
The tentative operating millage rate for Palm Bay was officially set at 6.700. So what does this all mean for residents? The council found a middle ground. It's a slight tax decrease from what was originally proposed, but higher than what some wanted. It leaves the city with an emergency reserve of about $2 million. The final budget hearing is on September 24th.
And after that main event, the council quickly approved several other items, including adjustments to water and wastewater impact fees and sewer permit fees, which are mostly cost recovery measures.
The meeting wrapped up on a lighter note with a happy birthday wish for Councilman Kenny Johnson, who was spending his birthday serving the city.
It was a night that really showed the push and pull of city governance, balancing the needs of the city against the burden on taxpayers.
And the difficult process of finding common ground. For the Palm Bear, thank you for listening and stay informed.